In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how's it going?
Wow. I'm gonna be completely honest with our audience. This is our second take because a few friend of this common friend we
A
have.
few retards told us.
Okay. Literally, stop trying to end our podcast early, dude. I don't want to
That's
have
like
to do
my
a
main
third
goal
take.
right now.
I'm literally gonna have to fucking silence you if you don't say shit that's like within the boundaries of not getting fucking cancelled, dude.
I told you I'm fucking tired.
You're tired. That's no excuse to be a bigot. Like, imagine if everyone was a bigot every time they got tired. Like, society would stop after 3 days.
Well, I'm a person with special needs.
Oh my god. Can't you just let it go? Can't you just like make a different joke?
We'll see. Let's go on.
You're like those comedians that get butthurt whenever someone tells them they can't make like really offensive jokes in front of 30,000 people. They're like, oh fuck, now I have no jokes. Yeah, okay, dumbass. If you can't think of any jokes that don't literally trigger people, yeah, you don't have any jokes now. Anyway, welcome to the only podcast that is both a pillar in the way of progress for the cartel of telecommunications in Greece.
And international telecommunications company for now.
Okay, as you can clearly see, the telecommunications cartel is already fucking us over. If you're just joining us, probably because this one's in English and the other ones were in Greek, we have a running joke here, and that is that whenever you can't hear the other Dimitris's voice, it's because the cartel is muting him because he's dropping the T.
Yeah.
He's dropping the T in the group chat, and the cartel does not want the tea coming out. They do not want the people to know the truth. Okay.
They don't drink my Kool-Aid.
They do not. What's our topic today, dude?
Language. That's why we switch things up.
We switch things up because we like to experiment, just like 40-year-old white men in bed.
But people who are watching this podcast.
Yeah, sure, definitely. But before we get into our topic, as always, our sponsors.
Wait, fuck. I just realized I said watching a podcast. Do you realize how stupid that is? How can you watch a podcast?
I mean, technically it's a YouTube video, but we're also going to be live on SoundCloud soon enough, so you know. It's kind of stupid, but like not that stupid. Like I think the joke you made like literally 2 minutes ago was a lot more stupid.
All right, who's endorsing us today?
No, we're not just getting endorsed, dude. We're getting money. We're getting that sweet ass moolah. Our first sponsor today is banana flavored Jello. Ladies and gentlemen, on our first episode, or whatever the correct preposition is, I have no idea because I was bad at grammar. We mentioned Jello in our segment about the best snacks to fill your cupboard with now that we're all quarantined.
And you said your favorite one was green tea, right?
Yeah, my favorite Jello flavor.
Yeah.
But I did leave the prospect of trying out banana flavored Jello open. And I did. And I've got to say it's the best one by far.
Yeah. Did you, the secret sauce ingredient though is, did you actually slice up any bananas and put it inside?
No, and that's what I'm about to get into. I think we've reached a technological peak as a species because we've developed artificial banana flavoring that not only tastes like banana, but also tastes fucking better than banana. It tastes what you dream banana would taste like.
Yeah, but if you slice banana and put it in there, you you get to reminisce on those old days when you land upon a good old banana chunk.
Okay, dude, I've got to say, maybe the English thing won't work out purely because your jokes are just so fucking cringeworthy in English. I don't know why. What's wrong with you, dude? Is it because you're tired or because this is in English?
Well, I'm not really used to speaking English with you, but also I'm really fucking tired tonight.
Yeah, you must be fun at parties in the UK, huh?
Well, it's not a question you should ask me.
Why?
Because I'm not... You shouldn't be the judge of your funness at parties.
Yeah, you should. If you're sitting in a corner doing drugs while everyone else is talking to each other, you're the guy that's not fun at parties.
Oh no, I'm not that guy.
Okay. I'm so glad this episode is off to a good start, dude. It's really improving the chances that our next one will also be in English. It's really like making me think about what we've been missing out on all this time, you know? Okay. Our second sponsor today is Twitter.
You know, this is a political suicide, right?
Yeah, dude, this is PR suicide. Our second sponsor today is Twitter. Do you want to express your deepest, darkest thoughts? Do you want your dad to like a tweet you tweeted about fleshlights? Twitter might be what you're looking for. I am not joking. I tweeted about fleshlights. It was a funny, witty comment, but honestly, I regretted it the moment I got the notification.
What the fuck did you do again?
Your parents should not find out about you wanting a flashlight. I don't care how sex positive your family is, that's not something that should be the topic of conversation ever. Do you even know what a flashlight is? I
know what it is.
Okay. I mean, of course you do.
I've never expressed desire for one.
Okay. Well, we both know that anyone in their right mind that wants to elevate their late night game gets one.
Cartel.
Oh, dude, in the last episode, I thought I made myself clear when I said that I have 15 SIM cards full of fucking NCOV samples ready to fucking ship to the homes of of the loved ones of the cartel CEOs. But apparently they weren't fucking listening.
Yeah, maybe we should make it clearer.
Maybe I should start off by, making a few deliveries. Maybe that'll make that'll send the message,
Yeah, just send one to their kids or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, their kids aren't at school, so it's gonna be a lot easier. I want to start off by being very honest with you guys, and when I say you, I mean the audience, which probably like a couple of you. It's probably like a couple of you, but still, okay. Today's topic was not one of those topics that I just randomly came up with. It's one of our more planned out episodes, simply because I've been wanting to do this for a couple days now. So we knew this was going to be today's topic.
Was it like 3 days ago or 2 days ago?
I think it was 3 days ago. And that's because the other Dimitris told me he had this segment planned on language and computer science. So I really don't think it needs any kind of introduction. I just really want to hear what he has to say, because I have no idea what he's about to get into. But considering how he described it to me when we were discussing like episode ideas, it seems like he might have something really good here. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna just stifle my desire to cut you off every 5 minutes, and let you just deliver a lecture on something that you're obviously very passionate about. Or I won't, because I literally cannot hear a word he's saying. You know, sometimes I'm glad Netflix exists. Like, I'm glad it's filled up countless hours of boredom with, and replaced the boredom with, like, entertainment and joy. But other times I just fucking hate it, because it's like the most, like, bandwidth heavy service people are using right now on the internet, and it's really making this podcast such a fucking pain in the ass to record. Not to say it's not fun, απλά it's a fucking pain in the ass, because half the time you literally cannot hear one of us. Or, even worse, we cannot hear each other, but apparently everything's fine in the audio recording, which means that, you know, we just end up sounding like idiots. I'm currently contacting him. Oh my god, he's back.
Bro, this is the first time I get disconnected. The internet's so fucking bad.
Okay. You're back from Mordor.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
I mean, thank God it happened
trip.
before you began your lecture, dude.
Yeah. I
mean,
hope
it's
I'm...
not,
What?
it's not really a lecture, but still.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, wow. He actually just got completely disconnected. He's offline. Hello?
Fucking A. This has never happened before.
Fucking A, indeed. Okay. Just get on with it, dude. Just get on with it, honestly. Maybe they're too bored. That's why they're cutting you off. Just go.
Yeah. So basically, last year I was kind of interested in new computer science topics because I'm a
Because
fucking
you're
nerd.
a fucking nerd? Okay, yes. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, and basically I tried to understand why programming languages are the way they are. And, you know, like, it's always a pain in the ass to learn a new language because there are so many rules and whatever. But
I mean, it depends, right? There are some languages that are very similar to each other.
Oh, yeah. But, like, getting into it, if you have no previous knowledge of them, you know, there's so many new rules you have to learn. And also the syntax is really important. And
Right,
it's
yeah.
not... And basically you have this idea, right, that you want the computer to do, but you cannot really get it to it, although you can explain it to another person without like having to really be strict about those rules. So basically,
Right.
I looked those things up, and I found out that there is an actual science.
What exactly did you look up?
I looked up behind the science of rules. Like, I don't really remember my queries a year ago, but basically I looked up behind how language is structured and programming language. And
Okay, and I feel a very important question to ask at this point.
yeah.
Were you sober?
Yeah. It's my sober trails of thought that, like, never end. Yeah, basically, I found out that there is an entire science combining linguistics and computer science, and it basically tries to sort of break down language to its building blocks and analyze how we talk and like versus how computers talk, and how you can use a computer to sort of analyze natural speech.
Wait, so it's basically if linguistics and computer science had a baby, is what you're saying?
It's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is.
Go
Basically,
on. I am
not gonna
interested.
delve into everything because I really don't know everything.
Wait, what's this science called?
Computational linguistics. Even
Oh
the
my
name is
god.
just a fucking wet dream or some sort. But
oh my god, dude,
for
that
Alan
sounds
Turing,
that sounds like what the guys at the back of the library are into. Like the guys that are just always there.
Bro, you haven't visited my computer labs at uni. I feel like computer scientists and electronic engineers are like a total different species of people. So yeah, you need to visit that one day to understand what's going on. I'm a normal guy compared to them.
Yeah, dude, you're a normal guy. You just told me about how last year you went on a fucking Google spree on computational linguistics. But go on. Enlighten us.
Basically, I'm not going to delve into the real hardcore parts, but I want to get the basics down. Basically, the main two subgroups of language are natural languages and formal languages, all right? Natural languages are the ones that we speak, like English or Greek or stuff like that. And what's
Although
interesting...
some of them really don't sound that natural, you know? Like, have you ever heard of a fucking fluent native fucking speaker of the Danish language?
Oh yeah, I don't know how you come up with that. Like, something must have gone wrong in the process.
I just think someone was really into like using their fucking throat for the guttural sounds. Yeah, I mean, let's just say the people that came up with Danish obviously were into like they were the kind of girls that like wear chokers. Let's just leave it at that, eh?
You're gonna get us cancelled, and now it's not
Yeah,
gonna be
I
my
will.
fault.
I mean, you got us cancelled in the first 2 fucking minutes, so might as well make some funny jokes now, eh?
Yeah, funny.
Also, I did
Fun.
not expect that half of this episode would be us saying "eh,"
Hey,
but honestly, I'll go along with it. It's not that bad.
uh, yeah, but basically, going back to it, natural languages. What's interesting about them is that, as you generously pointed out, nobody made them. Nobody said, "Okay, these are going to be the rules. These are going to be the words." They sort of evolved naturally through millennia of evolution and
Right.
cultural elements and stuff like that. And they're really ambiguous in terms of why things are how they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the natural languages. We're going to come back to them in a minute. And then there are former languages, which are made up, and they've been created in order to serve specific applications. So one of them might be scientific notation or mathematic notation. Like the
Right.
way you write an equation has a specific syntax and grammar. It might not be words, but there are rules you need to follow for something to make sense.
Yeah, honestly, you sound like the type of dude that would be a grammar Nazi, but with fucking equations. Like, hey, your parentheses is like a mile off.
You see, what's the weird thing about all this is that I might like this as a science or as a thing to be knowledgeable about, but I
Right.
really am terrible at grammar and like structuring shit in language, even in programming language.
I mean, I'd say that both of us are a strong suit, probably not language. I mean, I'd say both of us write pretty well, though. Maybe it's not. Maybe spoken language is not our thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's kind of funny coming from me, though, considering I've spent most of my fucking free time in high school speaking. But okay, go on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, basically, formal languages were created, as I said, for specific applications. They have really strict rules in terms of syntax and grammar. There are all of those parameters like semantics and ambiguity and literalness, which are many like subfields of how you can analyze a language, which we don't really need to get into because it's going to get pretty boring. But
I mean, we could maybe like get a sneak peek. Like, give us the short version of all this nerdy stuff.
okay, so probably the thing we're most probably going to be able to relate to, although I said probably twice, is how speech to text recognition works, or like translation. and stuff like that.
That's interesting. Go on.
Yeah. So have you ever used
I'll
Siri?
cut you off if you're getting a bit too nerdy.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I really don't know how to get nerdy in this shit. I just know like the basic stuff of this.
Okay.
So you've used Siri, right?
Yeah. I've used text to speech and speech to text.
Okay. So what's really difficult in analyzing what's it called? Natural languages, which are the ones that we speak again, is for a computer to sort of quantize the information, like make a numerical sense of what you're saying.
Oh, so like go from like you speaking in like, let's say, an analog manner to a digital like interpretation of that?
I wouldn't say that the digital interpretation is pretty easy because it doesn't really have to do with the language. It's more related to the
I guess
sound.
it would just be audio. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But what's difficult is breaking down that audio into, first of all, recognizing the words and then actually recognizing how the words work together. The first step is more, well, both of them are sort of artificial intelligence. I'm just going to say that and I'm not going to go further. But
yeah, I mean, I'm glad because most people just fucking use AI like for everything, and
yeah.
it's so annoying.
I just learned that Huawei's phone have like 3 times the power in AI, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
Dude,
how do you measure AI?
it means Instagram loads 5 seconds slower, but fucking like high level stock exchange algorithms are like 2% faster. If you want to run them on your Huawei phone.
Okay, I'll tell my Chinese friends.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, basically, the semantics that I previously mentioned is how words work together in a sentence and sort of breaking them down in order to get the meaning. So, for example, you want to ask who sung Thriller, right? So it's Michael Jackson, but you need to.
It's Michael who?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
What did I say? Michael Jagger?
No. It just sounded like Michael Jackson. Which honestly Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson is the difference between Michael Jackson and some like weird 50-year-old white guy from Texas. But go on. I don't mean to interrupt.
They might have similar interests.
Oh god, no. Oh, that was a good joke. It was funny. But it also was a terrible joke.
I'm sorry if I ruined your childhood.
Dude, honestly, if they've stopped listening, they've stopped listening by now.
Yeah, so it's okay. The people that have listened so far, they enjoy this. So,
Yeah.
again,
If they're still here, they're fucking into this. Go on. It's like weird porn. Yes.
Yeah, basically, and we're done with this. So, natural language processing uses AI to understand how the different words that you've said sort of have a literal meaning. Although, there are many figures of speech which are not literal and they have some ambiguity in how they could be interpreted. But it's really easy for us to do unless you've got Asperger's. But and I'm not saying it as a joke.
Wow. Please expand. Not because I thought you were saying it as a joke, but because that's not one of those things you can say without like expanding.
Okay, basically, people with Asperger's, which is like the lightest end of the spectrum of autism, have a difficulty understanding like figures of speech and things that are not really literal, and like things like irony or sarcasm are really hard for them to process.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're not sort of, they are not within the actual. I don't know how to explain this, but they're the meaning that you convey.
I mean,
in a
it makes
sarcastic
sense.
figure.
In the same
Yeah.
way they lack object permanence a lot of the time. It's
Mhm.
just that it's I guess identifying a figure of speech that's somewhat complex, that you
Yeah.
might be used to, and that's why you can identify it so fast. It might not be very intuitive for someone that cannot register that kind of stuff and like keep track of the duality of certain words and
Yeah.
phrases and how they're used in language. So
Basically,
like,
computers have exactly the same problem.
yeah,
Uh,
okay.
and there are a few ways to train them, but the easiest to sort of grasp is analyzing billions of lines of text from like websites and blogs and
So just
whatever.
going off context is what you're trying to get to.
Yeah. So
Well,
basically
that makes
analyze.
sense because
Of course it does, because basically you're you're unbiased because you're using different words as like a plethora of different other people have used them, and you're not trying to feed it training stuff. Like you're not trying to train it the way you would talk. You're just
right.
basically seeing how these words are being used together.
Well, look, if I guess if I was the world's most antisocial person, which I'm not very far from, but like still, uh, and if I had no ability to understand like how tone and how social context like kind of contributes to the actual meaning behind what you're saying, I'd probably just practice like a lot. I would just talk to people and be like, "Hey, be sarcastic for 5 minutes," just so I can like register that sort of use of the language.
Yeah,
Like
I think these are
practice makes
some
perfect. Even
practices that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's sort of a very human way of dealing with this issue. If you can't
Mhm.
just find a way to solve this issue and like become aware of what sort of sense you're trying to convey with every sentence, just practice.
Yeah, it's literal practice, and I think you don't really have to have an issue or something. Like for some people, it might be more difficult to understand how different figure of speech works or how different tones work in a sentence until they've heard them a couple of times.
Yeah, some
Uh,
people are more tone deaf than that fucking Pepsi ad that seemed to fucking solve police brutality. Pepsi and Kendall Jenner.
I haven't seen it. I will check it out after
Oh
the.
wow, have you not seen it?
No.
Oh my god, after we're done with this episode, you need to check it out. Basically, what happens is there's this. Oh my god, there's even like a fucking SNL skit about it. That's even better. It's basically this whole like protest, but it's very peaceful and it's like full of diversity and it's very like referential to Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Fuck.
It was even like around the time Black Lives Matter was peaking as a movement, and then suddenly they end up like they confront this line of policemen that won't let them like move on with their lives and their
Yeah.
protest. And guess what fucking happens for the day to end peacefully?
Like Pepsi drops out of the sky.
No, fucking
What?
Kendall Jenner that has abandoned the photo shoot. By the way, she was at the photo shoot. She saw the protest like pass by outside. She took off a wig and joined it. Like she was just like, yeah, fuck you, Vogue. Fuck my career. I don't want anyone thinking I'm a reputable person like to work with. She's like, yeah, fuck this shit. She goes to the front line of the protest. She gets close to the policeman. The policeman like kind of reacts. Like the director of the ad obviously wanted you to feel like something's about to happen, like something very negative, like even the music like cuts off for a second, you're like, wow, Kendall's about to be fucking shot. And then she pulls out a Pepsi and hands it to him, and he opens it. And that's the peaceful resolution, dude.
For fuck's sake.
And honestly,
at least it was peaceful. At least
dude, yeah, look, I wouldn't say you're the most like not tone deaf person out there, because obviously you did just drop the R bomb like 30 minutes ago. But the fact that even you kind of get how problematic, and a lot of other people didn't, that's indicative of something, dude.
Right. Fair enough.
Okay, so back to language.
By the way,
having said,
I just realized Pepsi has a really strong track record of making terrible ad campaigns.
Oh yeah, what else did they do?
They paid around 5 million quid to Concorde or like Air France or something like
quid.
that.
Wow.
I'm studying in the UK.
Yeah, but like still quid. Okay, move on.
Yeah. I could say 5 million pound, but it's even worse.
You should say 5 million pounds sterling.
Yeah, basically they paid Air France to paint one of their Concords blue.
And was it one of the ones that like had issues?
Yeah, it could fly super like more than Mach 1.75 or something, because it would overheat and people would die.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a pretty terrible campaign because they only flew it like 3 trips and that was all.
Oh. Well, yeah. That's why I'm drinking Coke right now and not Pepsi.
I'm actually drinking ginger ale. I brought things from England.
Wow, you brought the ginger ale, but not your fucking camera or microphone.
Or money.
Or money. Wow, I feel like I'm not surprised at all.
Oh no, I didn't bring ginger ale from the UK, but I brought the habit of drinking it.
Okay, I'm not even gonna respond to that sentence. Back to language, our actual topic today.
Yeah.
I just realized language will have to be part 1 and part 2. This is not going to be... There's not enough time in one episode to cover everything we have prepared, right?
Yeah. How long has this been going?
This has been going for a decent chunk of time. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's around 40 minutes now.
Fairs. Oh, 40 minutes.
Yeah, it could be 30, it could be 35, it could be 29. Who knows?
Oh,
I'm sure someone will be there at the YouTube comments to correct me anyway, so I do not give too many of the fucks. Okay, so
basically, in order to finish it,
I have a question.
Right.
So you've been ranting about natural languages and the other kind. What's the other kind called?
Formal.
Formal languages for a while. My question is this. We basically use the word language for both, right?
Yeah.
So the following sentence is technically correct. In language, the word language refers to more than just natural language.
Yeah.
So my question is, when in language you use the word language to describe something more than natural language, is it a misnomer, otherwise known as a mistake in language that is still used in language?
Can you say that again? Because
yeah, dude,
was lost.
I was just like trying to make myself sound very like cool. Basically, are we wrong to call like programming languages languages?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh wait, you could.
Because a language.
Your audio, it's being blocked by the telecommunications cartel again.
God damn.
Are
I've
we
got.
okay?
Guess my ping.
Oh, we're not okay.
No?
Okay. Just give it a minute, boys. Give it a minute.
That's what my ping was when the issue was
What was your ping?
1,500 milliseconds.
Wow, it was over a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said it is a misnomer.
Uh, a language as a definition is basically we always tend to think of languages as foreign languages.
Right. Wait, no, as natural languages.
Sorry, as natural languages, but that's just a subset of the entire thing.
Well, you
let me pull up
mentioned
the definition.
you mentioned
Yeah.
the definition. Let's set out some criteria for what makes a language, like generally.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say an alphabet is pretty crucial for written language, right? Oh, boys.
Yes.
Okay.
Of symbols.
Yeah, you need some symbols to convey,
Information.
the information that a language tries to convey. Then, for both written and spoken language, we need some syntax in the form of like grammar, but also the other like actual syntax, like sentence syntax and stuff, right?
Yeah, so it's all about the rules of how. Before syntax, maybe we should go into words. Like,
Yeah, okay.
I
So
think
if we're
in
talking
linguistics
about
they're called
structural
tokens.
blocks, wait, what are they called?
Wait, let me check that out wrong.
Yeah, it makes
I
sense to
think.
go alphabet, then words, then syntax.
Yeah, so I'm reading here. Syntax rules come in two flavors: tokens and structure. And tokens are basic elements of a language. So yeah, those
Okay,
are like
wait. You need to restart.
words.
You need to go again with all that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so syntax has two flavors, like two things that make it up. It's tokens and structure. Tokens
Okay.
are like things are like the basic elements, like words. If we're talking about a like natural language or a formal language, or like numbers.
So it's
or
basically
chemical
stuff and where to put stuff, the rules of putting stuff with stuff.
Yeah, structure is more of the rules of how you put things together.
Yeah, it's like IKEA and the IKEA manual.
Yeah.
It's like the IKEA wood and the IKEA manual. So like the last thing I guess, which we haven't really addressed, but is very interesting, and I promise will come into play with our second part, I guess now, is utility.
In what
Something
sense?
something I'd say really supports the case for formal languages actually being languages and it not being a misnomer when we call them languages, is the fact that their existence does provide utility to the world. So much so that one day someone was like, hey, I need a language for that, and literally made them up, right? Like
Yeah.
one day someone built Python because they thought we need a language that is in some way simpler, maybe more easy to use than other programming languages, maybe more versatile as well.
Yeah, it has some extra features as well. It's not just about making it more efficient. So yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
I'd
It's
say
all about
formal languages are basically the epitome of utility.
Yeah,
which
because
is why
they're tailored fit to the nature of every application that you're sort of trying to work around.
which is why they don't seem to evolve that naturally, right? It's more of like some arbitrary evolution in the form of like updates that are released by developers. Or you could say that maybe perhaps new libraries that are added, that basically, not to get too technical here, but basically
Yeah.
anyone that wants to add to a language, a programming language, can release a library which allows you to type out new commands and utilize the language in new ways. So you could say that that's sort of like the natural evolution that some
Yeah.
languages have.
Although like libraries are made up of stuff which are based on the building blocks of a language, but I don't
Yes,
really
but
think we should.
it's as if someone released an expansion pack for the dictionary.
Yeah, something like that. But nonetheless, we shouldn't really forget that formal languages are not just programming languages. For example, if we take mathematics, which are a formal language, as you write an equation, or not really an equation, any sort of statement in math.
Yeah, like what's it called? Like MATLAB
Oh no,
equations.
that's a programming language again. It's not a. It's more of a like markup language or
Yeah, it's a
a.
markup language.
But I'm talking about like actual math. Those are practical because they convey they convey a structured sense of logic, right?
So you're talking about, I mean, I think we all get how this works with equations and stuff. Like it makes sense that we have a sign that means this is equal to that, and we have a sign that means add this to that. But how does this go deeper than that? How does it work on a level that's not basic equations? Because you can't really test to see if they're actual languages if they're basically as simple as a few symbols, right?
Well, they are really made up just of a few symbols, and it is essentially basic and very easy for us to use. But that's why it's actually perfect and why it doesn't need to be more complex than that. But those few symbols which can relate two numbers which with each other and like have a sort of an operation between them and then sort of have a result with an equation and stuff like that, they really touch upon the foundations of math. So
Yeah, I guess languages don't really need to be that complex to be languages.
mhm,
Well,
they're just practical.
so what's your final call then? Are formal languages languages? In the same way that we would sort of like conceptualize natural languages?
Yeah,
Do you think
that's
that
what it's.
people? I think a good thought experiment is: do you think people get better at formal languages when they use them in the same way they do with natural languages? Because obviously you get better at like math and programming the more you do it. But would you say that it's sort of the same intuitive understanding you develop when you speak a language more and you practice it?
Mm, I'm not sure if it like of course practice makes perfect and like you would get way more familiar with programming and conveying your logic to a computer and the same thing in math, but I don't know if it works the same way because language acquisition is way more complex than learning a programming language, formal language acquisition. Uh,
Okay.
natural.
On
Normal.
that note, I think it's a good time to end our discussion on language for this episode, because I really want to get into the more human aspect of language on the
I
next one.
I just think that there's one more interesting thing we should discuss.
Okay, go ahead.
So there's another subset of the general sense of languages, which is a lot smaller and less important, maybe, or whatever. It's called constructed languages or auxiliary languages. Somebody calls it that way. So basically, have you heard of Esperanto or Interlingua?
Oh yeah,
or something
Esperanto was the attempt to make an international language, right?
Yeah. So
basically used
in linguistics,
Spanish, French, English, and all that.
Yeah, they tried to create a natural language, but not in a natural evolving way. And
I mean, apparently there are people who speak it still. So,
I mean, I don't know how well that went, but it's very interesting to see why that was in a general sense, it was sort of a failure, right?
Right, yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we're
So,
not
yeah.
all speaking it right now, so I guess it was.
Yeah, so yeah, it definitely didn't fulfill its purpose, but it's really interesting to see how you cannot really engineer a language to be natural and efficient and easy or effective to
Yeah,
learn.
because it's like you can't really simulate evolution when it comes to languages, right? In this, it's different. It's not like, for example, trains. We can
Yeah.
build a very efficient train because we can analyze evolution patterns in, let's say, birds with their aerodynamics. We can analyze, how other animals have evolved to be very efficient when it comes to their speed. We can basically find out things even without going into engineering and all our other principles we have. We can basically look at how nature has ensured efficiency.
Yeah, I guess it's just another way of proving that evolution is behind a shit ton of things.
Oh wow, checkmate all you flat earth, like Bible loving anti-vax mums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I totally love the Bible too. It's a great book. It's honestly one of the best works of fiction there is out there. But
Oh yeah.
still, anyone who doesn't believe in evolution, checkmate. Well, that being said, I think we'll leave everything else for tomorrow. Tomorrow is really where I get to shine because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've kind of incorporated this speech I once wrote into tomorrow's episode. So all the research I don't have to do again. I've just like sort of complemented it with new research on like new developments and stuff. But it's something but tomorrow's topic is something that has interested me for a while now. So I have stuff prepared.
Perfect.
Not that I need to have stuff prepared though. I feel like sometimes it helps with keeping track of everything. But these podcasts are basically us having a conversation.
Discussion.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also people get to access that. That's the entire concept
Yeah.
behind these
To be
podcasts.
honest, I didn't prep that much for today. I just pulled up a few articles and skimmed them.
Can you repeat that?
Wait, I need my pen to drop.
Okay. Oh, so it's good you have an indication of when you can speak uninterrupted. When the cartel won't stifle you.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm just saying that I didn't really prep for today. I just skimmed through a few articles and
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to do that much prep with topics, even if they are as complex as today's mental masturbation session. Because if people want to like access the articles, actually it'd be a good idea if we link them in the description as well. But also they can do that in their own free time. I don't think they come here to just get, their daily dose of Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, of course. Like this
There's
is
some
not a
value
session
added
where
by us
they're
being friends and
supposed to
having a
learn.
chemistry.
Yeah, I
Okay,
hope
so
we spark someone's interest in computational linguistics.
we've reached the part of the episode where it's time to answer the most important question of the day. And that was, how was your day?
My day was pretty uneventful. I've gotten bored of this quarantine shit. I want to go out for a bike ride.
I mean, you can't go out on a bike ride. Specifically, you have to text B6.
Theoretically, I can't. Or actually, I don't really know. I'm in a
I
gray
mean,
zone.
dude,
Cause
oh, wait. Oh, yes, you've also got the other thing, right? Because you just came back from the UK.
yeah, but I looked it up a few hours ago, and I think that law, although they proposed it one day before I came back, I think it sort of went into practice a few days after, so it might be excluded. But I don't
Wait,
really want to risk it and go yeet
but
out.
did you sign something?
No, but my parents told me that they read on the news that they were collecting data from whom was sort of entering the country from the UK and other foreign countries, and sort
Well,
of
I'm
kept
pretty
track of
sure
that.
that the way that law is supposed to work is that when you come back, you sign. Um, I'm not sure what it's called in English. It's basically
A paper in its essence.
yes, but it's supposed to be you declaring that you're not going to leave your house, and if you do, you're fine with paying 5K to the government.
Yeah, I never did that, and nobody asked me to do it. So I guess I might be fine. So I'll call the police tomorrow and ask them if I can go ride my bike around my neighborhood.
I mean, there's police stationed outside your house all the time, making sure you're not going anywhere. So basically, just go out on your balcony and be like, "Hey,
Yeah, bro,
bruh,
bro.
are we good if I go on a bike ride?"
Sure.
Okay.
Walks out, gets shot in the back 5 times.
And oh, okay, dude. I know I literally joke like last podcast in Greek, but in English it's just so much more like problematic. It's just like, oh my god, and this intersects very well with tomorrow's topic actually. How there's a different sort of cultural context because this podcast is in English now.
Yeah,
But
I really want to discuss about humor and cultural barriers and stuff because I've
yeah,
experienced it
well,
firsthand.
you'll have to wait for a day. Same way our audience will have to wait for a day.
If you're actually listening to this, please comment down below that you're in this point. I really want to see who's actually
Yeah, actually,
making this
I'd like
far.
to see who's still here too. Like, it's really not about getting engagement. Like,
Oh no, it's about having a discussion, and
yeah,
whoever wants to eardrop on it.
like
Feel
this is
free.
not a drop a comment down below, guys. Comment. I'm actually genuinely interested in knowing if you're still here. Okay.
Alright, I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to know about my day, sure.
No, I'm kidding. How
Nah,
was it?
it was fine. Nothing too interesting. So that wraps it up, everyone.
Nice.
Thank you for staying with us
If you did.
through. I mean, thank you if you didn't. Honestly, this was a very experimental episode, and I get it. If it's not what floats your boat, please let us know down below.
If
Like
it doesn't
honestly,
flip your switch,
I just flipped the switch.
flip.
Wow, that Drake song is really good. You can
Uh,
tell I'm white. You can tell I'm white.
I
Uh,
can.
please let us know if you have any constructive feedback because honestly, the only piece we have so far is what or what Anastasia's mom said about me not doing that thing with my mouth. Oh my god, that sounds so weird.
Why?
Oh, nothing. I meant me not making that sound with my mouth when I begin a sentence. So if you'd like us to cover something very specific in terms of topics, or you'd like to see something different, or you hate the fact we're doing this in English now, please let us know.
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of like this episode. I don't know if it was the topic, but I think the discussion was fine.
It was definitely the one that with like the most breaks for us just spazzing.
Although the beginning was pretty. I'm not gonna say the word, but
it
was
started.
pretty
It started out slow, but that's how that's how the good ones start.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for being here today. We hope you're here tomorrow for the next episode, which will also be on language and will also be very interesting. See ya.
See you guys.
Bye bye. See ya. Ciao. Yes.
Bye. Arrivederci.